Right now here at 5 o'clock, no foul play is suspected. Kentucky State Police now confirming that to WHAS11 News. 5-year-old boy with autism missing from Cub Run, Kentucky, an hour and a half south of Louisville, found dead this morning. The child wandering away from home. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. That news came shortly after a statewide alert asking Kentuckians to be on the lookout for that child. And you likely heard and saw that Ian alert on your phone. That alert is sent to phones all over Kentucky. It said a juvenile was missing and could be in danger.
There you see him on your screen. Everyone's phones lit up and they were buzzing today. Many wondering, what is an Ian alert and how is it different from an Amber alert? Well, it passed just last year in Kentucky, the Ian alert system. It uses the very same system as the Amber alert, but it's meant to notify everyone of a child with autism or other special needs when they've gone missing and might be in physical danger. The Ian alert is named in memory of a 9-year-old boy with autism who drowned in the Ohio after leaving a children's home in northern Kentucky in 2022.
And our Ian Hardwick and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton join us live now from nearby today's search area.
We're standing outside of Cub Run Elementary right now here in Hard County. It borders the search area for that 5-year-old Silas Shearer. And KSP tells us that the trees and the ponds in this area really made their search difficult. You can take a look here from up above on our Sky 11 drone. The Kentucky State Police actually used a drone themselves to find that boy. However, they're telling us that they're not revealing where they found him at the family's request. You can hear from a local KSP trooper who spoke to us earlier today.
Yeah, this is a hard area to find places with all the wooded and the ponds and stuff like that. It's affected a whole lot of us in probably a similar way that it's affected the family. So it's a devastating moment for the family, including us as well.
KSP's search began shortly after they were notified the boy went missing around 7:30 this morning. An hour later, that Ian alert went out, and I want to reinforce to you that there's no foul play suspected in this case. Kentucky State Police have said that they're going to release more details at a later time. We'll hear from the lawmaker who created this Ian alert system coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, I'm live in Hart County. Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11 on your side.
Ian, thank you. 3 separate shootings in the last 24 hours have injured 3 children and have killed a man. The first happening this morning in Louisville's Shawnee neighborhood happened about 4:30 a.m. LMPD responding to 38th and Broadway right near the Shawnee Library where they discovered a man dead from a gunshot wound. At the same time, police responded to a 13-year-old shot in the leg on South 39th Street. That's near the Shawnee Community Center. It's believed those 2 shootings were connected. And by 6 a.m. today, police were on yet another call for a shooting, this time of a 16-year-old boy on Duncan Street in the Portland neighborhood. And that was just this morning on top of a shooting that injured an 8-year-old boy last night right near PRP. The 3 children are expected to survive, but we have not heard of any suspects yet in any of these cases. If you can help detectives, call the anonymous tip line 574-LMPD. Today, in commenting on the violence, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg reaffirmed Metro government's commitment to fighting gun violence in Louisville and implored parents to take steps to keep your children safe.
So I just want to encourage parents, know where your children are. If you have 13 and 16-year-old kids of any ages, and it's the middle of the night, hopefully they're at home in bed, but know where they are and what they're doing. Now is the summertime. We have so many wonderful things to help kids, to get kids on the right path, to give them constructive, positive things to do. Things like at our public parks, on tennis courts like this all across the community. We are building these for our kids.
The mayor also pushing ongoing programs here in Louisville, such as the Cultural Pass and summer programs at Metro libraries as ways to keep your kids safe and off the city streets. Also tonight, the big correction. The mayor saying a falling ceiling tile did not set off the mass panic at the Fairgrounds on Sunday. He says that was wrong information after a false report of an active shooter. The mayor says it was a sensor malfunction that triggered an alarm, but only in some parts of the Kentucky Expo Center. And we're told it led to 70
72 calls that were made to 911 in just a few minutes.
Isaiah Kim Martinez is following up today and talks with an Elizabethtown man who was there on Sunday with his daughter.
There was no tile that fell from the ceiling. There was no one that was injured.
The Louisville mayor is making a correction 2 days after a false active shooter call sent hundreds running for cover at the Run for Roses youth basketball tournament. Previously, LMPD had told us they thought a ceiling tile fell from inside the Kentucky Expo Center.
I've got a ton of people running out of the sky bridge.
Police said it hit a chair, making a loud noise and causing panic. But Greenberg says that's not what happened.
That was not accurate information. And so the chief is aware. I'm not quite sure why that information was put out as a fact, but that did not happen. That happened at another basketball tournament years ago that the tournament organizers were talking about when they had experienced a similar situation before. So I'm not sure why that happened. I'm sorry that happened.
Despite police later determining there was never a threat, questions still swirled around what set off that alarm in the first place. Greenberg now telling reporters it was a malfunction of the Expo Center's smoke detector system that caused it to go off in some areas, but not others. He says that's when one or two people first yelled shots fired and started running toward the exit. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS11 on your side.
Police Chief Paul Humphrey is backing his officers and releasing a statement today saying it's frustrating that active shooting incidents happen so often in our country that a moment of confusion can cause chaos.
The chief saying, quote, "It breaks my heart to see families in fear of such senseless violence, and this should not be the norm in America. We're extremely grateful there was no active shooter incident and proud of the men and women of LMPD who responded without hesitation to what they thought was a threat to people's lives."
As we've been telling you during this hour, we're really going to dive into this crazy weather for you. Coming up at 5:30, John Gordon will join us. But Mallory, as you told us yesterday, get ready, folks, for the rest of July for this kind of similar pattern.
Ooh, yes, there's no big break in this pattern arriving anytime soon. So we're kind of stuck with all the heat, the humidity, the scattered downpours. And what you're seeing here, 12-hour estimated rainfall really over the last 6 hours, I would say. And you can see the greens here. So pretty much in the eastern, northeast side of Jefferson County, seeing the heaviest downpours so far today. And even with these super heavy downpours, lots of lightning with them as well, you're still seeing pockets of quieter or drier spaces. And that's really what we're seeing with this kind of setup, where we have these scattered storms dropping a lot of rainfall over certain parts of town, but other parts of town see the sunshine and dry conditions. We do have another isolated storm that's lifting northward, heading toward Valley Station this evening. Big picture view showing more scattered, really rain and storm coverage continuing to lift off to the north. So that's out of our viewing area. Down to the south, just spottier in nature around Hardin County over to Grayson County as well. So some of these storms today, they've been loud, as I mentioned, lots of heavy rainfall, some gusty winds, but more so the lightning. And that has kept temperatures in the 80s or even 70s across Kentuckiana. As we head throughout the rest of this evening, your hour-by-hour futurecast expect scattered storms to become more isolated in nature closer to sunset. Of course, we lose a lot of that daytime heating and that fuel. And then tonight, we'll likely have some dry time before additional showers and storms bubble up tomorrow morning. That's going to be a change, it looks like, for your Wednesday. Some activity in the morning, a little bit less for the afternoon and evening. Of course, we'll take a look at that hour-by-hour and 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Mallory. An alert tonight, the mayor confirming a child here in Louisville is diagnosed with the measles. This is the first measles case to be confirmed in Jefferson County. He said that the Louisville health officials are doing contact tracing to find out who may have been in contact with them. Those who have been in contact with the patient will be told what to do, and some will be asked to isolate. It has been confirmed that the case in Jefferson County is not related to the other active cases in the state. Of those, 11 people were unvaccinated. And only one person had one dose of the vaccine. The child's vaccination status is currently unknown, according to those health officials.
In 2000, we thought measles was eliminated in America. In the last 20 years, there were only 8 cases of measles in Kentucky. And now in Kentucky, we have 12 active cases. Only one here in Jefferson County.
And the mayor said the public health department will contact you if you or your child was in contact with the measles patient. He urges everyone who can get the measles vaccine. And as the mayor said, children across the globe are not as medically protected as they could be. The World Health Organization and the United Nations Children's Fund is out with its latest immunization report. Researchers found roughly 14.3 million children have never received a vaccine shot. That report also notes nearly 6 million other children have only had some of the recommended vaccines, leaving them partially vulnerable to some illnesses.
It's been 1 year since the Safer Kentucky Act made street camping illegal in Kentucky and, of course, right here in Louisville. Advocates for the homeless community, including the St. John Center in Vocal, Kentucky, sharing personal experiences from Kentuckians cited under this, who have been cited, given citations under this new law. Director of Louisville Outreach for the Unsheltered told WHAS11 News how in one situation, a woman was only given 5 minutes to pack up her belongings, but she was only able to grab a pair of clothing. All her possessions were then thrown away, including medicine, vital documents, and legal papers. The fear of citation is causing a new problem that advocates are calling hidden homelessness.
We're seeing a hybrid creation of chronic homelessness mixed with hidden homelessness. So the fear and the concern of citation and arrest is driving people further into hiding places. It's driving people further into unsafe structures where it becomes increasingly difficult for service providers to maintain contact with people in order to keep them connected both to services that these wonderful organizations actually have to offer.
A member from the St. John Center, Brian McAdams, emphasized to us that there is difficulty in providing services because of frequent displacements and lack of housing in the city.